How do you think he will rank in the history of economic theory or thought?
As a man with a great many ideas who knew very little economics, that's literally true. So he knew nothing but Marshallian economics. He was completely unaware of what was going on elsewhere. He even knew very little about 19th century economic history. His interests were very largely guided by aesthetic appeal. And he hated the 19th century, and therefore knew very little about it. Even about its scientific literature. He was a really great expert in the Elizabethan age.
I'm absolutely astounded that you say that John Maynard Keynes really didn't know the economic literature. He had surely gone through.
Even within the English tradition, he did know very little of the great monetary writers of the 19th century. He would know nothing about Henry Thornton. He knew a little about Ricardo, of course, the famous things. But he could have found any number of antecedents of his inflationary ideas in the 1820s and 1830s. And when I told him about it, it was all new to him.
How did he react? Was he sheepish?
No, not in the least. He was much too self-assured and
amused,
convinced that what other people could have said about the subject was not frightfully important. Then at the end, well, not in the end, there was a period just after he'd written the general theory where he was so convinced he'd redone the whole science that he was rather contemptuous of anything which had been done before.
And did he maintain that confidence to the end?
I can't say, because I said before, we'd almost stopped talking economics. Great many other subjects, general history of ideas and so on, we were interested. And, you know, I don't want you to get the impression that I underestimated him as a brain. He was one of the most intelligent and most original thinkers I have known. But economics was just a sideline for him. And he had an amazing memory. He was extraordinarily widely read. But economics was not really his main but his own economics was he was convinced he could recreate the subject. And he rather had contempt for most of the other economists.
Does this tie in with your two kinds of minds? You wrote an Encounter some years ago, a piece that
fascinated me. Curiously enough, I would say Keynes was rather my type of mind, not the other. He certainly could not have been described